hello. Welcome back to Nothing But Lip. I am your host, Warren. We got Brandon J, the real Brandon J, EVG. How are you guys doing this evening?
Great.
Life is
Ready to
good.
rock. Feeling a
Just
little
eating nice
We
feisty
got,
snacks.
tonight.
Lack of dinner, gotta eat snacks, bar snacks.
hey, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. You got to stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated and full of protein to make sure you last the full deal. That's why we all got beer, wine, and I'm glad Allison got some
Ellis
water.
drinks wine quite often on this podcast.
He
That's
wants to
right.
appear classy, I think. Is
I
what
want
it
you
is.
to be ordering wine on the golf course, Ellis. I would laugh to see, hey, you got any wine on that cart? To the cart girl. Be like,
We have seen it. It will
Hot
happen
as can
again.
be. Give me some hot red wine for this
yeah,
birdie putt.
yeah, forgot about that.
Barefoot, carrying a bottle of Cabernet. We've seen it in Pinehurst or Kiowa, but
I love it.
feeling good.
Love
We're
it.
ready.
Well, I want to do some recap. We had a little lag in between our last podcast, so I'm sure there's one person in particular that wants to talk about the players finishing up. Brandon, you got any opinion on that? No,
Oh, I
me
thought, no,
neither.
I was confused. I thought you were asking a different question.
Oh yeah. What about you, EVG? You got an opinion on the players ending?
I think super happy for Rory to get it done, but it kind of feels like now that he did, people move right on to it. Well, is he going to win the Masters? So the never-ending Rory expecting to win headline continues.
I was
but
expecting you to throw it back in our face and say, "Suck it, guys! I picked him. I
no,
won."
that's
I can't
true.
remember who we picked, Brandon. I don't. All I know is it wasn't good, But good for him. Good for him winning. It sucks that you had to wait a whole 24 hours or whatever time it was, 12 hours to go out there and watch the dude dunk the ball in the second hole and just call it a day. That's a rough way to end a tournament.
I will say, yeah, it stinks having the Monday morning playoff. But so I was in Alabama when we recorded this, and then the playoff goes till Monday morning, and my flight time worked out perfectly. I was on a red eye out of Birmingham at 5:05, landed in Chicago 20 minutes before they teed off. So I'm in an Uber back home watching it, got my AirPods in, and I probably had the chattiest Uber driver at 7:30 in the morning ever. At one point, he actually like tapped me on my knee. I was in a van, and he taps me on my knee, and I was like, what? Well, can I help you or whatever? And he's like, is the sun bothering you? And I was like, no, it's
Leave me
fine.
alone.
And so apparently there was like shades that he could put up or down. So I like put it back in. And then I saw his mouth moving again like 10 minutes later. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, what's going on? He's like, you got a busy day today? I'm like, oh. I was like, I just bit all my fingernails down. Rory's about to tee off. Like, leave me alone. But yeah, glad he got it done.
I don't know if, we've talked about things that annoy you. I would say an Uber driver that wants to talk the entire ride is there. I don't know about you guys. Like, if you go and get your hair cut, do you talk the entire time, or do you just
The
want to be like,
haircut
you know
ladies
what?
want to talk to me the whole time. That is awful. Don't talk. I'll tip you less. I'm not here to talk. Just cut. Be done. Get me in and out.
The worst to me is the dentist. I go and my dentist
Oh,
always is
yeah.
like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And then jams all the tools in the mouth, and it's like,
You don't have
like,
to
what do you
fill the
want me
void. Just stop talking.
I will take this, and then we got to move on from this topic. But also, I hate when you go out to lunch with your boss and you're trying to eat, and as soon as you like take a bite, they're like, "So, talk to me about the upcoming projections. How you feeling?" I'm like, "Give me one sec." Like, I never finish my food if I'm with my boss. It's basically just don't even bother.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, anyways, congrats to Rory. We got the Valero that happened, right? No. What was
Nope.
the paint tournament last week?
Valspar.
Valspar. There we go. Big one there. So let's not even touch that topic. We're gonna go straight into the Texas swing. We got Houston
Well,
coming
can
up
I
this
just?
week.
The only thing about the Valspar is JT trending. Can he get it done? Question mark. Don't know. Don't know.
He won the TGL. He can win the Valspar.
Did he
I
win
mean,
it? I haven't seen the end.
Atlanta won, right? I think
There
they
you
did.
go. There
It
you
was
go.
JT and
I,
Billy Hill, I
Spoiler
think.
alert. Tonight,
I mean,
yeah,
does
just
that
ended.
bring you confidence if you're leading going in with 2 holes left and you bogey 18 to lose? I mean, does that build confidence for you, or does that kind of shoot you in the foot?
Piss you off.
I think Brandel Chambly said, "Listen, if you could be JT right now, I think he's been like T3 in his last like 4 or 5 events. Like he's obviously playing really, really well, but I think guys like JT, they want to win. He's obviously trending, but you gotta
Probably
like,
doesn't deserve a Ryder Cup according to Warren, but whatever.
oh, he's definitely trending. I think all in all with golf in the
He's
last
in.
like
He could
two
lose.
months, outside of Rory's won twice, but I think our top dogs, Xander, Morikawa, JT, even Scotty, like God forbid he sets foot in the kitchen and hurts himself. It's kind of like they're not throwing down like they should. So that's my kind of like just takeaway from the Valspar is like the big
Boy,
event,
March.
these guys aren't getting it done. So
Yeah, and I was a little disappointed that Rory didn't accept that trophy, at the Players, and then just like shout down that Texas kid, just
yeah,
throw
Hook'em
hook 'em
horns.
horns at it. But JT's Alabama. He's flying high on all the other sports worlds for Alabama at least. So what do you guys think about the Houston? You guys interested? I mean, I was looking at the Valero Houston coming up this week. There's actually some bigger names than I anticipated. Scotty's playing. I think you said Rory was
Yeah,
there.
Rory's playing,
So some
JT.
some big players. I don't know. Do you guys feel like it sets players up to be successful in the Masters if they play? Is that the reason why you're seeing these guys in there?
Are they completely different courses and strategy and everything else? I mean, is it just kind of getting you in the mood to compete, I suppose?
I believe, and shoot, I'm hesitant to say this because I'm probably going to be found wrong, but not this week, but next week, they actually share the green composition to
Correct.
that golf course
Yeah.
so they can replicate it. That's the way
Mhm.
they're trying to draw people into that. So
Yeah.
that one, it makes a little more sense to me. Now, obviously, the greens are obviously different, but at least you get the same green composition. It can help your reading a little bit.
Sure.
Um, but to me, I guess it just feels like a way for them to play and then take a week off so they're still sharp, but it's not like they're playing back to back to back going into the tournament.
Well, I mean, what's
Yeah.
the purse? I mean, there has to be there's cash. I mean,
Yeah. Nine and a
I
half
got
million this week. I think pretty
yeah.
similar the following week.
I don't know. Would
So
you
I
get
mean,
off the couch for 9.5 million? I suppose I would.
uh,
Be in
nine
last
dollars
place.
maybe.
So at least it's
yeah.
it's good to have something on.
I
Sometimes it feels like it's too much golf, but I would say it's good to have something on to watch.
I'm excited for. I mean, you get a field that big, regardless of what's the reason or not. I mean, I have actually enjoyed, I will say, like the start of 2025, like watching golf more than I can remember in the past couple years. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just
Rory's
situational, but
playing better.
yeah, I mean, Rory's playing better. But honestly, this week, like, I'm just excited to see big players and have like fun golf to watch. I feel like the broadcasting has been better, the commercials have been less, and I know they've been trying to like you know, address that. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun tournament. I won't watch every day, but I hope Sunday, just like the Valspar, as like kind of quote unquote middle of the road as that is, it was a fun finish.
Yeah.
So
Good
yeah.
to see Victor win. And I do say, you talked about the coverage. I kind of say I do like some of the new stuff. They're trying to focus on the cut line on Thursday
Mm-hmm.
and Friday. So they're
Yeah.
not just watching leaders, they're watching people around the cut line and a lot more on course interviews, which I think have been good moves to try to feel more connected to the players. So,
Do you
but after
think?
that, go ahead.
Do you think? Like nobody apparently had this as a take, but so Adam Hadwin frustratedly chops the sprinkler head and it goes off. I'm sure you've seen it on like X or YouTube or whatever, right? Do you obviously he's getting
X.
fined, but do you think that that's like that's fun, it's good to see player emotion, or do you think that that's like more on the negative ridiculous side?
Uh, as long as it
Well,
happens very rarely, to me, it's fine. If you have a random outburst, if you got a guy doing it every week, you got to address it. But There was what, 3 incidents. The guy punted the putter. I think Spieth got caught dropping a couple F-bombs.
Yeah, big, a
You got
big
the
F
guy hitting
bomb.
the sprinkler head. I think another guy was slamming a
So
club.
he
You know,
so he throws his iron. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, you don't want to watch that every week. I've watched you do it
Yeah, but
enough.
I
I'm
mean, the
good.
people watching it play golf, and how do you think they react to bad shots? Very similar. I mean, all three of us have had outbursts.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
100%.
I mean, some of us
Yeah.
have had worse than others, but we've all had outbursts. So, like, seeing those guys have those outbursts, knowing how frustrating it is, and we're not good, like, I I I appreciate it because I mean that's tough. And it's tough, and it's a mental game. The fact that they can say that, have those outbursts, then come back and birdie like back to back to back, it's like holy cow! How did you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. As the most people watching golf are not just so casual that they're not going to be like, oh my goodness, did you see that? Yeah, no, they play golf and they probably understand like this sucks. This is frustrating. Yeah.
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 But no, I agree. I agree with Brandon on that. I think it's nice to see it every once in a while. You know, I don't want to see it all the time, but I think it's nice to see it
I
every
mean,
once.
arguably, Tiger Woods was one of the most emotional golfers. It still is a lot of times. And I mean, people love that. They love the ups and downs. And I mean, there was a lot more ups back then in its prime. But like,
Was he
they
a
fed
club
off that
thrower?
emotion.
Club snapper? I feel like I don't see any videos of Tiger snapping or tossing clubs.
I don't know.
I don't know. Here's one thing I forgot to
Surprising.
say about the Valspar. Sorry to jump back to that. I, coolest shot I've ever seen in my life, though, was that left-handed shot by,
Oh, by
out of
Billy
all
Ho.
people, Horschel.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I
Brandon,
Yeah.
wish
you
he
see
was
that?
more likable. I wish he was a more likable guy.
I think he's becoming more likable. I mean, he's trending.
PGL honestly helped a little bit about that.
Totally.
The few times I saw him, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool guy. But
They kind of let their own personalities shine through a little bit more on that than some of the other. Obviously, in tournaments, they're trying to keep that composure, and they're just kind of
show him in the
back
locker room a little bit more. We'll see the personalities. We'll see who's snapping towels.
So, anyways, I guess let's move on. We got Masters. We'll probably do a full podcast on that next
Next
week.
week.
But you know, we're not going to talk any golf right now. But what's the one thing heading into it that you get excited about?
Ellis.
Oh God, one thing. I think the just anticipation of it. I feel like they do a really good job of building it. Commercials start flowing. You start to see kind of like players talk about it. So yeah, the anticipation is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. Is
Brandon?
there any other tournament that people just talk so much more fondly about? I mean, considering most tournaments have changed, I mean, the big ones change every year and whatnot. It's just so nice to have a tournament where you know the course, everything's familiar. You can miss out on a day, and the next day you know what Amen's corner. You know, it's just honestly, I kind of wish some of those bigger tournaments would have more permanent homes. Sometimes I know it can't be that way, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice that you know.
Yeah.
It's
And
been,
what
it feels so long ago that you know Pinehurst was at the Open and it was relevant. You know, like still grasping at that. That was when we were
Yeah, and I
kids.
think the U.S. Open's trying to do that. They have their anchor courses now that they go back to every five,
Yeah.
They
6
have to.
years,
I
I
mean, just from
believe.
viewership, I don't want to see some
Yeah,
podunk Texas course. I'm sorry. I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
bad, but
Yeah.
yeah. No, I understand on that. And did you guys look at Masters Meal? Catch anything that looked pretty familiar from a couple of years ago on that menu?
I eat the heck out of that meal, man. We should have just a pod going through the meals and just rating them top 10. Something
Maybe
like
we do
that.
that next
There's been
week.
I think
some
the
bad.
only I think the only change, there was one change, right? Wasn't there like now there's a meatball and a change in soup or something like that?
Yeah,
Other
Yeah.
than
a
exactly
ravioli
the
or
Right.
same.
something.
And no, that's a missed opportunity right there to have some Scotty Sheffy ravioli after he grinded his hand, you know, a couple months ago
Oh
making
my
it. You should
gosh!
have,
And
and they
just
did
the
meatballs.
plate
Do
splattered with
ravioli. Like,
pasta
what do you?
sauce like blood. Oh my god, it would
That
be
is a
so good. Or
huge
like they
missed
could have made like
opportunity.
sugar glass or whatever and put it on it.
Yeah, make
Right.
it look like little shards of glass.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god, it's so good.
Could
oh,
Oh,
be.
that's such a missed
Could be
opportunity there.
funny.
But I think I'm kind of hopeful that Scotty wins. You know, we'll talk more about picks another time, but I'm kind of hopeful that he continues to win and just uses the same menu every
Every
single
time.
time, but adds
He's
just
winning.
maybe one small change to a point where the player's like, I don't even want to eat. Like, I've had this enough times. Like,
So
I'm good.
tired of this meal.
So good.
But no, it's exciting to go in there. I agree with you guys. The lead up is much better. It's all talk about, you know, the tradition and the history more so
Yeah.
than like the open where it's always about the course, which, you
That's
know, the
true.
course shines as well, but you know, that's all the conversation is how they're going to battle the rough or how they're going to battle the green rather than the tradition of the tournament itself. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Tradition unlike any other. I guess they're
yeah,
right.
they got a lot of sound bites, right, from the guys doing the tournament. Uh, so anyways, any other thoughts before I start firing some questions at you guys? Because it's
Ooh.
happy hour. What do we got? All right, I got some fun ones today. So I'm gonna say Brandon, you get more practice with this one.
Let's go.
What's more scary to you? Taking a swing whenever you got a potential limb behind you and trying to make good contact, you got an overhanging limb, or when you're trying to hit off a steep hill or you got a bunker right in front of you where you know your hand's slamming in there and that ball might hit the lip and come right back to you. What's worse?
Ugh. Well, as a guy who's broken a 3-wood doing just that, I would probably say grounding the club is worse because my swing has a natural steepness to it. So, and
So you know that
I've
shot
been
I'm
known,
talking about.
I'll snap off a dead branch or two to get it out of the way. So I would say straight down into the dirt, that would be the worst for me.
What do you think, Alice? Which one scares you more?
Are you talking like a fried egg type situation?
No, no. So like say you're about 50 yards off the green, you're in the sand bunker and there's a heavy lip overhanging. So you know you're gonna swing, you gotta pick it clean, or you're gonna
Oh,
line drive into the front of it. And there's a good chance your hand and the club's going in there, it's gonna jam your wrist, whatever else. But you know that shot that I'm talking about where you're scared
yeah,
about your wrist, you're scared
I
about
don't
hitting the
like
lip.
that.
But
I'll
to me,
take like the weird backswing. At least I know I can get it out, something like that. Yeah, I'll take a
I
hybrid,
would say
chop it out.
I would say the tree scares the death out of me for some reason. It's
Tree.
always in the back of your head. Like you pull it back and you just wait for it to hit, and then it doesn't hit, and you're yeah. You just throw the
No
club and
practice
bank
swings.
it.
Just go up and boom.
Yeah,
Well, you got to know where it's coming into play
Or you
at.
just
So
Texas wedge the heck out of it, you know?
yeah.
yeah,
Take a three
yeah,
wood or something. Just yeah.
that's true. You do have some
Or you
good
know what, Warren, do
alternatives
your
there.
classic clean in place in the middle of the rough. You know, why not?
It's a scramble. Get a
Free
club
drop,
length.
free
Free
drop with the
drops
tree limb in the
everywhere. Free
way.
drops.
Local rule. So, how about this? Ellis, I'll give you this one. What frustrates you more? A ball that takes a bad hop and falls into the water. You hit a good shot, it's fading a little right. You hit that hill and somehow it shoots straight left, and you're like, what the hell? Or when you hit the ball over a hill and you're like, that's a pretty good drive, and you get up there and you can't freaking find it. What's more frustrating?
Probably the kick into the water. I don't like the. I can't stand because there's so many ways it can kick, and some days you feel like you get the good kicks. Kick into the water sucks. Kick into a hazard, yeah, that sucks.
What about you, BJ?
Uh, I'm not too worried about the water hazard. They can't find the ball. It's like what is it, number 6 at Forest Hills, that long par 5. You come over that hill. Is it 5 or 6? No, it's 6, right? Coming over that hill
Yeah,
at a local
yeah.
club, and you can't see down. And then there's always stuff off to the left, to the right. You know, I hate
Yeah,
that. I hit it perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't hit it straight. So I'm now searching all over IL for something. No way.
I think I'm with you on that one. You hit a good shot and we played a lot of fall ball in the Midwest where you got leaves
Oh
on the
yeah,
ground
leaves
and you
everywhere.
hit, and it's like, all right, that's a pretty good shot, probably 10 yards off the green, and you search for 20 minutes and you can't find it, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
the leaf
this
mulligan's
sucks.
a real
At
thing
least,
because of that.
yeah, if it goes in the water, I got closure. Goodbye,
That
goodbye,
closure.
goodbye, Wilson. You're off on your
Yeah,
own planet now.
Yeah,
Let's just
you know
drop
your
and move
nickname
on.
should be
true.
Tom Hanks on the golf course.
That is true.
Put Tom on every single scorecard this year. Why you call him Tom? I thought his name was Warren
His Wilson, he's got gap
Wilson.
wedges
Him
and
and
golf
Wilson
balls in his
That
bag.
is
hand in
So
hand.
that's funny.
I think this one we've talked about before, but I'm always interested in people's responses. So Brandon, we'll shoot back to you. You had to play a round, but you're either going to have to remove all your woods, which includes your driver, all your irons, all your wedges, or your putter. How are you? Which one are you removing from your bag?
I don't know if I've done this one.
I don't think I've done.
See ya wedges. I don't know. See ya.
Just going to be chipping on the green with a 9.
You know, I've putted from 40 yards before. I could, I'll be just fine. Okay, so
Gonna have to
those
open up
wedges
that
are
9 iron in the bunker.
yeah, those wedges are inconsistent anyway. Not that anything else is consistent, but I definitely have to keep the irons. Irons are staying in the bag no matter what. But it would be
I think,
wedges or the depends. How long is the course? Probably maybe woods.
yeah, I feel you. What about you,
If we
Alice? What
could
do you
play
think?
more golf and it was already all paid for, just I would say let's all play around with just irons and down and
Yeah,
see if it doesn't matter. We don't have the length, but I bet we'd come out at the same or maybe better, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think it would be fun to have competitions where it's either you pick your own or you say the next time you go out there, you get to pick
your
what clubs
opponents.
to remove out of
Yeah,
your opponent bags. Like I've seen that before
Right.
where you get
that'd
to
be
go,
fun.
okay, you get to pick 3 clubs. You can't pick the putter, but you can pick any 3 clubs out of your opponent's bag and then go play around that way just to
If
be
we were
creative,
able to play
right?
3 or 4 times a week together, someday, hopefully, maybe, knock on wood, once kids
That's
and
a
all that
lot.
kind of stuff is over, like that'd be great. Hey, Monday's our random game of the week, whatever it may be.
Yep.
Yeah,
You'd have to be part of a club or whatever.
Yeah. What do you
But
think,
that would be
Alice?
fun.
What do
No
you want
putters
on your
today.
bag?
I would
Chipping with
lose.
the 60 wedge.
I would lose the woods for sure. Like if I could just do like irons and wedges, like honestly, like yeah, like none of the courses we typically play seem like they're that crazy long. So if you hit a 5 iron off a tee, like you're not in trouble probably. So yeah, I'd lose the woods.
Nice. I think like I said, I think it would just be fun to do once just to kind of see kind of what Brandon said, how the scores adjust, if it's really that big of a difference, if you're hitting 5 iron to 5 iron, rather the driver into the woods, punch out, wedge
Yeah.
on, like
We'll do it
most
at the
putt
next
routes tend to
charity
go.
event. Next charity scramble.
I like it. Uh, this one might be a hard one to answer, but I thought about it the other day from a story. The guy was telling me, what is the worst excuse? And if you don't have one now, we'll bring it up in the next podcast. What's the worst excuse you've ever made for a bad shot? And the reason I'll give you a short story on where this question came from. We were in Missouri years and years and years ago, and the course rained hard, and there was a couple when it rains hard in Missouri, you get a lot of earthworms that start coming up out of the ground, and he he putted. It was a 10-foot putt. He missed it by about a foot, and he looks down and he goes, effing worms. And just
Worms.
screamed, pick it up, and walked off like, I'm done. I'm not even playing anymore. I'm thinking, that's a hell of an excuse. That's the reason why I missed that shot. So you'll have to think about that. I know I've came up with some bad excuses. So, but that's my lead into the next one. I got a golf trip myself coming up. I know we're still talking about going in May. A lot of things to get excited about whenever golf trips coming up, right? You got the flight, you got the first warm up into the first tee jitters. You got
Airport
the
beers.
card games at night. What do you? We'll start with you, Brandon. What do you get most excited about headed into a golf trip?
Most excited in the golf trip? I would like to say it's the golf, but it's generally not very good. I don't think I've ever played well on a golf trip. I don't know if I've ever had like a great round on a golf trip. Maybe, you know what? No, last time we were in it was in Alabama. Yeah, last time in Alabama I played pretty well, but
Yep.
most of the time it's not that. I would say just getting away, shutting off the phone, not having to worry about real life, honestly, is the best feeling. Because even when we're back at home playing golf, I feel like our phones are ringing or something's happening and trying to stay connected. I
Yeah.
know if I don't have to be anywhere the next day, I can shut off. And that's what
Yeah, that's a great feeling not having to worry about checking emails for a couple days if you got
Mhm.
somebody covering for you. So, what about you, Alice? What do you get most excited about?
I think I think like the golf courses excite me. Like I get excited for those, but it maybe more so like the camaraderie and maybe like the teams, like the banter, the teams, who's getting strokes, who's not getting strokes. Something about that, like prep for a golf trip excites me the most.
I like it. And to piggyback off that a little bit, this is probably pretty dumb, but one of the things that I get most excited about, and we did this last year for Wisconsin, you pull up the course, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
them have the course map, and I look at it like we played Aaron Hills, and you look at hole one, and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna drive it right here. And then I'm going to hit this shot right here, two putt birdie. Like, this is great. And in my head, I build this round that I think I shoot a
Yeah.
72 on, but you get excited because you're looking at all these shots that you think you're going to hit. And then you get out there, and like Brandon says, it all falls apart when you
Oh, just
top it off the first tee.
I thought Ellis was going to say his favorite part of golf trip was planning his wardrobe, but
That
I
is,
do really like that, but that's easy. That's like quick. I
for
think,
those listening at home, Ellis has his wardrobe picked out about 3 to 4 weeks in advance before I go.
in contrast to that, I usually pack my bags at about 6 hours before the flight's headed
Yeah,
out.
you're usually late because Warren's still
Put
packing
in
on
there.
the.
I think a close second, and maybe it even tops it for me. Like the post round, whether that's like sit by the fire, hash out the round, like banter. That to me is what really makes a golf trip like that. If you don't
Because you're
have
not
that,
rushing home, like you're shut off, and you're not rushing to the next thing, and
right?
it's just, hey,
Yeah,
we're on.
totally agree.
Yeah,
Totally
Yeah,
agree.
I
Like
think
we
that
can
that's
goes to
talk
show
about it.
you that golf's not the most important thing when you do those trips, right? I mean, it's
yeah,
obviously a big aspect of it, but I would say
yeah.
of the memorable moments, that's one of the few parts that I remember. So hopefully
I
people are
don't.
out planning these things and going. I
Oh
know they've
well,
gotten expensive, but go ahead.
they are but I don't know if I'd want to really be involved in a golf trip that is so heavy on scoring. Like and I've been on the one I went to in Biloxi last year with all those guys. Like it was pretty heavy scoring, and like even if you wanted to have fun, you could screw over your group. That's not that's not
Yeah.
as fun.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you want to remember the conversations you had more than the score that you shot. So,
Brandon
um,
doesn't want to. He doesn't care. He's done.
last question I was going to ask Ellis before I wrap
Guess
this
it's
up. I
me.
guess Brandon dropped out. What's the one thing for anybody that's getting ready to go on their first trip? What's the one thing you always forget that you need to remember to throw in the bag?
Oh, probably an extra golf glove. That would probably be like a big one because I mean you go through quite a few of them. Yeah, probably that.
I'm going to
Everything
say
else you can get
belt.
it like a
I think I've
yeah belt.
forgot a belt 4 times. Thanks for borrowing it over. It
That's right.
happens. It happens to the best of us. Don't forget that key
I'd
necessity.
rather not have a belt but have like a golf glove though. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
oh,
So
Brandon's back. He's
I'm
back.
back. Apparently, computer issues tonight.
that's all right. We're
It just turned off. It
last
was like,
last quiz for anybody that's going on their first golf trip. what's the one thing you always forget to throw in the bag?
Well, it's a belt.
True.
Me, it's tees. I never have tees, and you got to hope and pray to God whatever course you're playing has free ones because I just never have them with me.
That's
I love it.
hilarious.
I love it. Well, appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for another week as you've been watching Nothing But Lip. Looking forward to seeing you guys
Episode
next week. We're going
9.
to talk all things Masters, recap, and hope to have some good info. So we'll see you guys then.